Hi, friends. Welcome to Race to Rise podcast, a place where we discuss bite sized wisdom nuggets with easy to follow practices to live a better life. I am your host, Mital Patel, a parenting junkie, Ayurveda enthusiast, and an advocate of conscious living. Hello, and welcome to the 160th episode of Race to Rise podcast. Let me pause and say I am super grateful for each and every one of you who listens to my podcast every time, who leaves reviews, who actually even silently listens to it and then tells me, "Oh my gosh, there's something in your voice that clicks." And I appreciate you. I am super, super, super genuinely thankful for you supporting me on this journey of podcasting. And to be honest, this has been my safe and sacred corner that I have been just pouring out without any scripting, without any notes, without any it's unfiltered episode. I wouldn't say unedited because if I can't pronounce sometime, I just go blah blah blah. And then so I have an editor who will edit it out, all my blah blah blahs. But I just wanted to say this has been such an amazing journey, and it has been a foundational in my confidence, the way I show up on the social medias or on the workshops that I lead, on the group coaching that I've started, on whenever I work with clients, and I'm about to work with school districts pretty soon and host workshops at school level and the public library. And I'm super, super excited, and I know that nothing would have been possible if I didn't have podcasting where I can just share my heart out and you guys would support me and encourage me. So I appreciate you all for being here, and thank you for this amazing journey of 160 episodes. Is a big deal. I mean, that's huge. And so I'm going to also pause and say I'm really proud of my achievement, and today is going to be let me talk about how this whole inspiration or the trusting the journey or leadership, how it plays a role in our life. So I want to share a story from a story that I read in one of the leadership books by Stephen M. R. Covey, if I am not wrong about the author's name. And the book was all about trust and inspire. And he shares a story that when he was 7 year old, he wanted to take a responsibility of mowing their lawn. And so he asks his dad and he says, "Can you allow me to mow the lawn?" Now, I want us to pause a second. And he's only 7 years of old. And he asks his dad if he can mow the lawn, if he can use those equipments and clean up the grass. Now, as a parent, the safety is super important. The dad could have said no. Instead, dad started discussing the plan, like, okay, how are you gonna do it? Tell me the plan, what's happening, and how is this gonna work out? And then Steven says the whole plan, like how he's gonna do it. And he actually puts up his plan, and the dad says, "All right, go for it," and he gets the gig, he gets the job. And now, because he was only 7, all he loved doing was playing a ball in the backyard, right? And so now he just took up on like a huge task that he said to his dad that he can do it. He tried, he failed. He tried, he failed. And instead of getting mad about it, or instead of saying this isn't you can't do it, or this is not your thing, you can do it when you are 14 or whatever, the dad trusted the son. And dad inspired, and he supported, and he helped whenever he needed. And at the end, Stephen M. R. Covey, the son, did it. And he was so proud of his achievement. And he was also so thankful and grateful of his dad for trusting him, for inspiring him, from supporting him. And like being a leader, that's what being a leader means, at least to me, that you empower your coworkers, your kids at your work, wherever, because leadership is not just about the job or, as a CEO. Leadership applies to, I believe that parenting is a leadership journey as well. And so it's about empowering our co-travelers and, getting the cooperation and inspiring them and trusting them and believing in them that they will get the job done. And so Stephen was really, really proud of himself. And let me tell you, the dad himself was no less than either. The dad is a world renowned author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And so the all time most popular title, it's been an amazing book. And you go to any library and you're going to find it in you ask anyone, everyone has heard of this book and everyone has read of this book. And so, inspired by his father, Stephen M. R. Covey, conceptualized a new leadership style. And I want to share that the trust and inspire. Now, just going back to that story, how he felt that he was supported. And, instead of his dad commanding or controlling or demanding, the father trusted him. The father inspired him. And this stayed with him for his life. And, after 50 years too, he is super proud of himself and, the support that he got from dad. Then he wrote another book called Trust and Inspire, which talks about a new leadership style. And it has been one of my other favorites to put it in my library because so much, aligned with our parenting that as parents, we want to empower our kids to make the choice because just think of it. We are not going to be with our kids 24/7 for rest of their life. And so rather we want to, equip our kids with the tools that they can, touch base on, that they can use on and empower themselves to make the choices that are best for them, right? That are best of the best for the moment. And so and that's why I highly recommend if you haven't checked out the book, it's called Trust and Inspire by Stephen M. R. Covey. And just check it out. You're going to love the insights and it's going to inspire you to lead. Just become a trustworthy and inspired leader yourself so your kids can, rely on you and they learn from you. One of the concepts that author talks about in the book, and I really want to share that, why the command and control leadership is outdated and it doesn't work. So, for example, let me give you like a practical example of work. So, if your resume contains more than, a few jobs over the years, and there's a good chance that at some point you felt like just a cog in the machine, like maybe you were just stuck behind the desk or, dealing with mindless, repetitive tasks all day. Or maybe you just felt out of touch with the master plan and unsure whether your efforts were really making a difference. How does that make you feel? Likelihood is that you were under the style that's known as command and control, and know that you're not alone. It just happens in our careers or in our workspace that we work as machines, do what the commands are coming from the top and do what we're asked to do, right? And so we end up in the command and control leadership. That's what happens in schools as well. Like, the system, the schooling system. Why do we complain about schooling system? Because the system says, this is how you gotta do the conversations with kids. This is what you gotta have to teach. The teachers cannot go outside the curriculum. It's just because the schooling system is based on command and control system. Similarly, this is not just for workplace or school. It actually goes deeper into even like, our parenting. Perhaps you must have heard or you're probably familiar with because I said so old school of parenting. And so if you've heard it, know that you're also not alone. And that also comes from a command and control leadership. Instead of explaining why XYZ needs to be done, what our intention is just the job needs to be done because I said so. And so this happens in parenthood a lot. That's why when the kids think, okay, it's when they feel the control and the commands, they find newer choices in peers. They find better choices outside of home. They find better choices, you know, with someone who makes them feel heard and seen and, valued and mattered. That's why the problem is, when as parents, we say that my child doesn't tell me what's happening, they would rather talk to their friends because they feel, they've kind of felt the trap of because I said so. They've kind of felt the trap of the controlling and commanding leadership. And in the humankind, like, that is genuinely a leadership what the people are looking for. And it's called being led and inspired. Everyone wants to be led and inspired, okay? Including our kids. So why not become a parent who can inspire and who can trust our kids and their choices and their decisions and support? And of course, we also don't have to go, blindly. You might say, well, Mita, you were saying that I have to trust their decisions and their choices. What if the choice or the decision is to play 5 hours of video game? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to inspire them to do that. Or I'm also not saying that you will have to trust their decisions of, playing the video games for 5 hours. And that's when it comes like, how do you want to lead? Right? You lead with boundaries. You lead with inspiration. You lead by empowering them to make their choices. What is good for them by, giving them facts if they're old enough to understand, right? By telling them what's good for them, well, not telling them, but showing them what's good for them and sparking the conversations. But again, that doesn't mean that we start lecturing them or we start, because that's also not going to work. So, as a leader, you have to show your child that you are interested in them and you trust them and you want to inspire them to make their choice. So, again, all boils down to empower. And that is why, my friend, I have created my signature method, and stay tuned. It is coming out soon. But for now, if you are ready, I would love to invite you to join my membership, The Parenting Lab. Like, I would love, love, love to have you in the Parenting Lab, where a month by month we are doing new workshops, new concepts. So we share about, how to lead your family life, because I truly believe that there's no one size fits solution. So even if you read all the books out there about parenting and you read all these books, it might not work for you because maybe it's not meant for your family dynamic. And so when you join the Parenting Lab, you will be empowered to create your own solution because you have a coach side by side to guide you and to get the resources out of you. Because I truly believe we're all resourceful. We all know the answers. The only thing is, the answers are so deep, just suppressed, and they're just inside. They're all dusted. My job as a coach is going to be dust off the resources and bring them out of you. So if you're ready to join me, the Parenting Lab, the link is here below in the video and in the show notes, because I am doing both. I would love to have you. What you're going to get, we'll have monthly workshops, a conceptual workshops, and you have an action guide where you will learn how to implement the strategies and the concepts that you're learning in your parenthood. And then you have a Q&A followed by, and the best part about it is you will have a community of supportive parents. No judgment zone where we're not judging each other for the choices that we're making. Because again, when we know better, we do better. So that's what the Parenting Lab is going to be about. It's going to be about knowing better and doing better at the same time. It's not just information. We're focusing on transformation. So again, my friend, if you're ready, just tap on the link below and hop on the membership. It is a monthly membership where you will be able to go from correction to connection, from burnout and overwhelm and anxious life to feeling inspired, feeling empowered, feeling peaceful, feeling confident as leader, and feeling connected with yourself, with your child, with your partner, with your coworkers, with your boss, with everyone that's surrounding you. So I would love to have you. So tap on the link below and hop on, and I hope to see you there. That's it for this week's episode of Race to Rise. Be sure to sign up to our email list at risewithmittal.com and join us again next time for more wisdom about life, kids, and everything in between. I am Mittal Patel, wishing you happy raising and rising.